So I'm just going to run through the oil, Bitcoin, dollar, gold thesis. Well, going back to Bitcoin really quick, my concern is that liquidity through the futures markets is a good way for them to, hey JD, is a good way for them, they being central banks, to smother the price discovery of Bitcoin. So to me, it's a really simple way for them to do it. Makes a lot of sense, and that deals with Bitcoin. So a lot of the other cryptos are starting to take off today, like Litecoin, for example, and that makes sense to me because as they get assimilated into futures markets and get smothered, the other coins that aren't in there will take off and do well. So I expected a panic today, pardon me, in Bitcoin, and the range has been from 17.7 to 13.8. It's trading 15.5 right now, so about mid-range. So it has started the process of selling off. Now it's got the weekend because it trades 24 hours. But I would expect, well, on the model, at least 13.7 before futures open, if not down to, well, you don't even want to know the numbers, but 13.7 is the first one, and then 98.67 is the second one, and then 68.66, no, 58.71 is the third one. So those are the three targets. Now that might not play out completely. The opposite might happen, and the futures traders might take it and run with it. But in controlled markets, and it's right on the front page of their website, there's something called the plunge protection team, and their job is to, control markets. So that's what I suspect is going to happen. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But that's what I would be prepared for. And I'm going to release this video and a few other things tonight, the blog post on it, and some different things after I come back from my dive. Oil, the last 4 or 5 weeks, it's done things on the model it's never done before, so it's divergent. And because of the nature of our business, we know when things are not right. So the plunge protection team, or their associates, are in there in oil the last 4 or 5 weeks, and what they do is they take it in the model at the end of the week for Friday at 1 o'clock at the time cycle completion, and they prop it up through liquidity again. They prop it up right in its decision zone at support for the following week. And you'd have to understand how the model works in Sunday night futures when they open with oil and stuff to understand why they would do that, but that makes a lot of sense. That's the right way to do it if you were going to try and control the price of oil. Pardon me. So that's happening right now live. So my thesis was, if it fails in here, then I'm going to short it like I did last week. It worked last week. I think they just failed at their job last week. The 3 or 4 weeks prior, they succeeded, and I caught them last week, shorted it through the weekend, and succeeded for Monday morning. I think they just dropped the ball. So I think they're back on the ball this week because they're holding it up over the decision area. So basically the decision area on the models in here, they're holding it up right now just above it. And you have to understand, this part of the model, it's never happened this way before. Like it's just there's two sides to me. There's the trader and there's the model builder. The modeling, there's no emotion in the modeling. Like it's not like it's absolute, right? It either has happened historically or it hasn't. It's divergent or it's not, that kind of thing. Trader, it's psychology and all the crap that comes with it, the human stuff. I'm telling you, it's completely divergent the last 4 or 5 Fridays. So if it's up in this area and it holds there, they've propped it up into the place of the model exactly where the traders will want it to go into futures for Sunday night. If it's underneath, then they're in trouble, because the futures traders will drive it down from there. And last week was the 1 week that they got caught there. So that's what I'm watching for in oil. Sure, the dollar affects the price of oil and metals. Like today, when the dollar was going up, oil was going up. I mean, that's not normal. So then we go to metals, to gold. So here's an example, pardon me. Gold is holding up. Well, Nugget's holding up. I'm going to go to the gold model really quick here. Now, gold did sell off this morning. But, you know, intraday now, since it sell off, what happened on the model is it hit literally to the penny. It hit the bottom of the model quad support. It's a blue line on the model if you have the model, horizontal line. And it hit it to the penny and it bounced, and it's held over that since. We do have a target for gold that's in the general area that it's in for 6 o'clock Sunday night. So that kind of all makes sense. As far as my 1/10 position long in gold and miners, that's specifically to my theory about Bitcoin. Now, of course, people can just move the money to Litecoin, for example, like it's happening right now as I'm speaking, and not necessarily into gold. And so that's why my position's small. And gold, you know, gold's not going away tomorrow, so it trades in a range. It's not like putting, you know, holding a penny stock that's never going to come back. So I can always double or triple down at a support and then get out of gold and I'll be fine. So that's my place in gold. The dollar, it's at resistance. I'm just going to take a look at the chart here really quick. Yeah, so in the model, it's right underneath resistance. So basically, we've got a test on the dollar. We've got a test going on in gold. We've got a test going on in oil. And I think Bitcoin's probably going to get whacked. It's already started to show signs of getting whacked. And other cryptos are going to take flight. And I really think that Bitcoin is going to $3,000. It might not happen tomorrow, but I think over a period of time, and I think they'll just use and abuse the retail marketplace in the process. And that's it. That's my thesis. We'll see if that works out. VRX is one that it was on the watch list this morning. It's been one that I've been charting since it bottomed. I haven't, you know, I've traded a little bit in there. It's complete breaks now. Like this is its real breakout. Up until now, it's been, you know, it's been structurally doing its job. It did come off a little heavy in here, but that makes, you know, that makes perfect sense in these scenarios. But anyway, it's on its second time up over the daily. It's structurally perfect, and so I would call VRX a high watch in future every day going forward, while it's structurally fine, because it trades really smooth, and there's technicals on it that I can function inside of, and I can bank quite hard on it. So I'm going to watch this really close next week because, you know, it gives you 1%, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% a day, up or down. It doesn't really matter which way you go because it's, you know, technically sound. So here's oil coming off here. So we'll see if they actually hold it above this decision area, or just in the decision area would work too. But if it's below here, it's a short. So they're getting pressure now. So you can see how volatile that pressure was as it was breaking through that. And when it shot up through here, it was aggressive too once it proved over the 200. And that's a 1 minute chart. So I'll watch it on the model on the other screen. I'll just get off this screen here. So I'm going to leave gold and oil up here so we can refer to it. SPPI, you guys know the story there. You don't need to hear it again. Ouch. Damn. Oh, wow, did that hurt? Okay. So I'm going to take that off the screen. That's a hold. AAOI, same thing. You know the story there. That's a hold. Hopefully I get out of those soon so I can stop talking about them. DCIXO, one of the runners this morning. And what else was on that watch list this morning? Oh yeah, Square. So I lost a trade this morning. A Momo trade, morning open. You know, it wasn't even a penny stock on Square SQ. Let's see what they've done with it since. Just out of curiosity, it made me quite angry actually because it was a decent setup. So anyway, it hasn't done much. So that was ready to open in like a second after I took the trade. Bang. Anyway, I won't even go through the setup. It didn't work, and so whatever. It was a small loss, 1/10 size on a day trade. Take your loss and shove it, Kurt. There's a bunch of alarms today. Two recent ones were ARRY and HIQ, so I'm just going to take a quick peek. ARRY is probably the stock RSI on the daily. I'm not going to, oh no, that's squeeze. I just keep doing this to me. ARRY. Oh, it'd be the 50. So price getting through the 50 or the stock RSI crossing, and MACD's about to cross. So look at that. Wowza. That's a wowza. That's impressive. So now I got to go price action with it because I'll take the breakout if it happens. So we're going to call this like 1170-ish. Trade smooth. It's a lot like VRX. So that's good. These are setting up. This will be, I was expecting this for Christmas and it's starting to happen. It's just, later on I wanted it, but, I'll switch gears and go for next week. So these are setting up for next week. HIIQ. Pardon me, which is good because, there's people like me that need to make, the window dressing for the quarter has to come in. HIIQ on daily. Caught in its MA, so why did this go up? Stock RSI is up, that's good. Across the 20, that's what's going on. So it crosses that 100 and it's go time. It probably will. Like I could probably just confidently go now, but crossing MA of the 100. I wonder if VRX, I never did ask Corey if he held there. I had done a video, he was in the room, he took a long position on it, and I gave him dates and everything on it. Pardon me. HIIQ, so that alarm's set, so that's set for next week. That's awesome. And after I go through all the videos or all the charts this weekend that I'm going to go through, because I'm going to do a couple more swing reports, I'm sure there'll be a lot more of them, and I'll double check these alarms on the weekend too. So great. I'm actually really oddly enthused by what I'm seeing in these charts, because they had built out so far this year, and then some of them have come off, and then it was like, well, are they going to come back? And now they're starting to come back, and so now we're starting to get that proper, highly predictable trading environment where people like me trade and can actually scale in. The first couple quarters this year, I was really able to scale. Third quarter, it slowed down. Fourth quarter, really tough. So, really chippy for me because it's got to be really systematic trading, right? But the thing with systematic trading is when the ducks are there and it's lined up, you can scale in a way that most can't. So that's just the nature of it. Hot stocks on the day. Let's take a quick look. So PXS, I was watching this on other monitors, didn't get involved. Your typical who the heck knows what's going to go on. This candle though yesterday kind of told the story for, so this is probably going to go again 2 or 3 days next week. If that's your type of thing, I mean, if it comes up, I'll just remember anyway. On a day trade, it's not a bad setup actually. SIGM way above its 200. The gap, is it going to go? Well, I don't know. It filled the gap on the left. Let it come back to your MAs. If it goes next week, well, then make a decision on it. CKPT, by the way, if you can hear that machinery in the background, I apologize. It's continued construction with the treehouse here. Checkpoint, bottom play, working its way through the MAs, not interested. TCCO, this one has been a Momo stock for some time now, and it gets serious lift. This is day trader's paradise stuff. If you're good at day trading, you just bring your time frame. Well, if you're good at it, you know what to do. Bring your time frames down and go with your indicators. And not my style. I want VRX and HIIQ and those types that are setting up. So I'm pumped. Can't express that enough. ITI trending stock, swing trading platforms delight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It failed, and now it's coming back on earnings. Careful, let it test MAs and then bounce. GALT, very impressive bounce back. I was going to take this one actually, and didn't. And there we go. So there's Kurt's shoulda, coulda, woulda. When you hear me on that, what you're hearing is a really busy guy that can't catch every trade, and I just can't. It's not possible because I can't see everything all the time. Although in the new year, I've got pretty an intense cockpit getting set up. I'm kind of landlocked on an island because my bulldog is, he's got, what's it called, he's old and his mind's going. Anyway, it's not Alzheimer's, it's the other one. And so traveling with him is going to be tough. So I'm pretty much tied down, unless I have a dog sitter come. So I'm going to set up a pretty serious trading environment in the treehouse. I'll travel a little bit, but he'll stay behind with a sitter. CKPT, another one that's working its way through the MAs. ITI, I'm going to try and find a solution for those allergies. Again, bulldog, they get into a structure, and if you change their structure, it's very bad. And so he's got a schedule, and he knows what time every day he gets to play in the grass. And they're not a normal dog. If his toy breaks, for example, it's like as if he had a child that died. So you've got to buy numerous of the same toys so that when they break, you don't have this depressed bulldog that slowly pushes the toy along to try and make it come alive. And literally will do it for weeks. Yep, they're interesting. MCF, and I inherited him from my son that was too young to take responsibility for him, so that was not planned. MCF, Contango, working its way through MAs. So these working its way through MAs, I'm not interested in right now. They're the last resort for me. If I had to take them, I would. Which reminds me, oh yeah, set up videos. I gotta, as soon as I'm done those models, I'll be done this weekend. Fortunately, finally, I'm gonna do real clean setup videos for each setup that I use. I've been meaning to do those, and I'm finally there. Mark. So from a day trader's paradise perspective, this is something I wouldn't ignore. It's not where I'm going to go. It doesn't trade smooth. It doesn't trade predictably structurally, but this is a day trading bullish scenario. If you're day trading and you like stuff that's, high ROI, aggressive, and you can pay attention to it and focus on it, unlike me, this is the one I would watch for next week, just so you know. And you just bring your time frame down, watch it, Anyway, if anybody does want to trade that one next week, Mark, and you're thinking it's setting up well, let me know and I'll do it with you as I'm available, kind of thing. Because I'm 99 out of 100 times confident that one's going to run next week for a day trader. FSCT, piece of junk. It's gapped because of earnings, and structurally it's a turd. So I won't even go near it. RDUS, Radius Health, working its way up through its MAs. A lot of people like this company for whatever reason. A lot of traders I talk to, but again, it's working its way up. QD, you can see, CYCC, working its way up off a bottom. I think this is probably a bottom. Structurally, it looks good. I think you're going to see it run next week. I think you're going to see, that 200. I think it's going to be good. So it's, it's a decent bottom play. I'm not going to alarm it or anything, but I think it's a good one. STDY. So always bring up the daily, and that gives you an idea. It didn't get past its 100 and came off. Who knows if they'll run it next week. APVO. Up over its daily trending stock 1, 2, 3, 4, going into number 5. So this was post earnings, stock RSI coming up, so the buyers are in, And so this thing will dump soon. When it, well, actually, it might not. Yeah, I spoke too soon. This might not dump. This might just end up running a bit more, if anything, cup and handle, and then go again. So if you like real aggressive ROI plays, it's a newer issue, right? And this structure, this chart structure, whenever you see this with a new issue and this chart structure is like this, a big bowl, it hasn't developed its chart history yet, so it's not limited by a chart history. So they can get really aggressive. So if you're a day trader that likes really aggressive stuff, this is again, so this is the third or fourth one today, but specifically this structure can get highly aggressive. Then we got QHC. We didn't look at this one, I don't think. It's not bad. It's testing its daily. It's probably a bottom. It's a maybe. SND over its 200 maybe. UAN. So all three of these are kind of the same. Testing its 200. So that's a maybe. Those are all maybes. ADOM, Day Trader's Paradise. Eventually this one's going to get going, and it's got some chart history now, so that's its problem. See, before it had the chart history here, it got lots of ROI, so the day traders really liked it. XPLR, that's interesting. The problem with this setup, when it gets at 200 and it just runs and it doesn't do it structurally, it almost always does this, where it comes back, and they fail at a fairly high rate when you get this and then it comes back. So you know, it's much better when it goes up, comes back, tests, goes up, you know, and it does the 5 legs instead of just one big whoop. SNSS, we've been following this one. SNSS is in trouble, but who knows? You know, you could watch it and see what happens, see if it gets up through 200. So that's those. ERYP, this is a newer issue. Nothing there yet. AQMS, bottom play. I don't think it's there yet. VECO. Man, I really have to apologize for my allergies. I'm sorry, I'll get this together yet. I'll figure out a way. VECO, seriously off, and who knows, you could watch it, but wouldn't be one of my top plays. What's happening now is a lot of the stuff that I like to trade, it's very consistent for me, where I get my big returns, where I get, you know, when I look at the end of the year and I have between 100 and 400%, excluding crypto, that 100 to 400% happens in things like VRX and HIIQ and those kind of setups. There's a whack of them right now, so I'm going to be pretty selective because they're setting up and they're definitely going to run. There's no two ways around it. They're going to run. They're structurally set up now. So this looks pretty bad. There's really nothing I can. So I mean, anything's tradable up or down. It's just a matter of what, you know, is highly predictable for you. And then that right ear sidewinder, JD and I were talking about. I guess I've got it on my conference call list to go through with Sartaj this weekend. Hopefully we can code that thing. Digital Power, Day Trader's Paradise, JOUT, it's off, doesn't look that great. AOBC, so you know, junk. Anyway, the rest of these are junk, I think. I checked them. I don't want to rush anybody, but if anybody has anything they'd like to look at, that'd be great. I'm going for a dive today. I'm really pumped. By the time I get to Fridays, I'm very tired. I'm actually going to do some work tonight when I come back a little bit, but I need that 24 hours to recuperate every week. So I like to get out as early on Friday as possible to do that, but I don't mind hanging out for half an hour because there are time price cycles concluding at 1 o'clock that I'm kind of curious about, like oil. And yeah, So this weekend, I'm actually, fortunately, confident that I'm going to complete the models that I have to get out yet. There's some editing and some cleanup because they're actually finished, which is the cool part. It's just consolidating and cleaning up and editing. I'm going to get all the videos out that I haven't got out. That's easy. And the blog post on for crypto, and then crypto starts trading in futures Sunday night. There's some limitations, by the way, on that, like some of the exchanges where you can't short, like on IB, for example, you can't short it. So that's going to be interesting how all that plays out. But anyway, as far as my getting caught up on stuff, yeah. So then, by the end of January, we start coding, so I got to move into a different mode. So I have to get everything done by the end of January. January, we wanted to basically use that as a polishing month. December, we wanted to use as complete everything, polish everything in January. So what am I saying? I'm saying that any of those other things that I've talked about, I want to have done by the end of December. So we're 22 days away or so, and I think it can be done. We're actually in good shape for it. So that's things like trade setup videos. When I get those done, blah 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 blah, and then January kind of polish stuff up so like people on their way to work can listen to it quick, or on the toilet. 3-minute videos or whatever, right? Okay, anything you guys want to look at? You guys are quiet again. Very quiet. JD looks like she's typing S's and W's, maybe. Is that what she's doing? Let's see. We have, those are A's and W's. MYL for a look at the breakout. TRGP for a second leg play to the 200. Of course I have time. Okay, let's do this. Whether I leave now or 1 o'clock, it's not going to make a difference as far as diving is concerned. Rain season here is November and December. What happens in the afternoon is the clouds move in on you, right? So, and when you're a free diver, recreational free diver, not competitive at all, of course you're going to look at different ways, or find that big crab about under its rock or whatever, and the sun helps. So that's why I get a little anxious sometimes. But half an hour is not going to make a difference. MYL, that's cool, ain't it? What's even cooler is it totally fails all the time on its 200. But you know what? That's normal for when a stock is working down. So what do you got? You got 1? Is it 2, 3, or is it 2, 3, 4? So is that 4 or 5? Because it works the same way on the way down, right? Now this was funky here. That should have bounced and gone based on its structure here, but it didn't, because it hadn't gone through its 5 steps down. I would 1, 2, 3. Like, is that 4 or 5? I don't know, man. But it's getting close. It's getting close to watch. What's the weekly tell you? Well, let's look at what Fibonacci tells us. Oh, ever since they changed those pictures on me. Oh. Okay. Interesting. So, yeah, looks like you've got 3901-ish. It's definitely not an exact number, but it gets up there. Like you'll probably get that 40, and then it's a matter. Was that 40? What was that? No, 46. It's like 40. That doesn't make sense. So 39 to 46. So usually structurally you'll get more of a bottom, but it might go. It's right there. So it's got to hold 39.30 or so on a back test. if that goes, I would love to get into this one because it trades nice too. I've traded it in the past. So I'm going to call that a $40 break just to be cautious in terms of alarms. No need to chase alarms for no reason. Let's get it alarmed. Thanks, JD. That's cool. See, there's a bunch of stuff. Like, and what I mean by stuff is stuff that trades really smooth, where I can really hammer down, like, you know, 5/10 to 10/10 size, like big sizing. Because when it's smooth like that on day trades and you got a predictable, you know, percent to 10% a day, you know, the average move might be 2-3% on these, and they're smooth, and you get big liquidity, and you get 2 or 3 of those trades a day. I mean, it adds fast. Okay, so that's MYL. What was the other one? If I haven't answered your question, let me know, but that's basically where you are. Gets up over 40-ish, back tests. You're good to go until 46. Gets up over 46 on a back test, and it's gone. It's a done deal. So there you go. That's your analysis. TGRP, TRGP. TRGP. So I am going to get a Santa Claus rally. I'm 95-ish% sure. The right stuff. That would be nice. Trading these junky day trading stocks, man. Like, I get it. There's an art form there, and some guys are, women are really good at it, but I like stuff that's, you know, I like trading stuff that, you know, even in a worse scenario, you can get out of in the future. TRGP. So, what am I looking for here? Wow. I think that's what she said. Wow. Target resources. I don't think she wants me to look at this. Yeah. I wouldn't touch this. Now, you know, on oil, the one thing about oil, if oil, I'll show you what to do with oil. If oil backtests, here's your secret with oil. This weekly chart, the 200, if it backtests, if it gets up over that 200 and it actually backtests it and holds it, well, isn't that interesting? So our support and resistance challenge today sits right at, that's really interesting. No wonder the plunge protection team's in there like a dirty shirt today. Look at that. See, they know what's going on. I've got this, well, I won't say any names. But anyway, 3 of the top hedge funds in the world, I've got traders as clients. Either they're execs or traders. And this one particular hedge fund, big one, their traders have been coming in regularly now, signing on with us. So when they sign on with us, they sign on for everything. They don't even think about it. And what was my story? Oh, they have like hundreds of data scientists, right? So I'm competing with, you know, anyway. It's not easy. I guess that's my point. These guys, I mean, they know what's going on. You know, I'm bumping into it, right? I'm like, oh, look at that. They've got like 3 lackeys assigned to like this one indicator on this one chart. MA cross, no, that's not what I want. I just want to thicken the damn line. That's all I wanted to do. Doing too much. Format. I want to thicken it because I don't know how. Can I bring it to the front? Oh, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, look at that. See, that's what's going on right now. Now, where's the price? It's lost in here in that line, right? 57.40, yeah. See? Now, so what was I going to tell you? I was going to tell you that if price gets up over that 200 weekly, and it sits over the 200 on the weekly for more than a day, doesn't drop below it at all in trade, then what you want to do is you want to hustle your butt into all the micro or small cap oils and get to know what's going on with them and get ready to trade them. If it holds that 200 on the weekly, then it's like, you just go all in on small cap oil. Because what's going to happen is, like, that's how the plunge protection does what they do, right? Is they hold the chart structurally in areas so that the chart gets, structurally sound, so that, the traders, the big liquidity comes in and trades it. That's the whole goal. That's how they manage the markets. Okay, so I don't think JD wants to do much with TRGP. Nobody else has given me any. We have a quiet room here today. Now it's going to take me 20 minutes anyway to get my stuff organized and leave. I'm going to watch the time price cycle completions on oil and whatnot for 1 o'clock. And then I'm going to be out the door at 1:01. Now, if you want me to look at anything, let me know right now, please. Okay. I don't think anybody wants me to look at anything. So 1 o'clock, there's time price completions, oil, like on a bunch of this stuff. And so we might get a decision here. But I'm pretty convinced. See, look at it's right above the decision line. This area is kind of battle zone. Underneath here is like a short all day long. So I mean, it's so obvious what's going on. But anyway, yeah. So we're gonna watch it. So it's followed my path, and hopefully it does this, and I can do a big short over the weekend. Okay, so thanks guys and gals. It's 12:39. I'm going to be out of the house here by 1, and I'm going to watch until then, and I'll let you know if anything's shaking. Yeah. You're welcome.